Today, Bitcoin dips 1% to the $96,000 level. The SEC and Binance paused their legal battle for 2 months, and Gracy Chen of Bitget discusses the strong influence U.S. politics has played on crypto prices. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets mixed this morning. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin dipped 1%, trading at the $96,000 level. Ether dropped by 0.75%, and Cardano jumped nearly 11.5% after Grayscale proposed an ETF tied to the cryptocurrency to trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. An Alabama man has pleaded guilty to hacking the SEC's X account to falsely claim spot Bitcoin ETFs had been approved. Eric Council Jr. admitted yesterday to conspiring with others who took control of the account. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit aggravated identity theft and access device fraud. 25-year-old could face up to 5 years in prison, and he agreed to forfeit the $50,000 paid by unidentified co-conspirators in Bitcoin for his role in the hack. Sentencing for Council is set for May 16th. Next, the SEC and Binance are pressing pause on their legal battle for 60 days as the regulator rethinks its approach to crypto. A joint motion filed yesterday says both parties believe a stay would be warranted, citing the new crypto task force launched last month after new agency leadership. The filing reads that, quote, "The work of this task force may impact and facilitate the potential resolution of this case." The crypto task force in mention is being led by Commissioner Hester Peirce, who's long been championed as crypto-friendly by the industry and marks a major shift in tone towards cryptocurrencies compared to previous leadership. The group was announced on January 21st, one day after former Chair Gary Gensler's departure from the agency. He led the SEC when it charged Binance in 2023. The agency is currently led by acting Commissioner Mark Uyeda until confirmation of a new chair. Trump has nominated former Commissioner Paul Atkins for the position. Finally, U.S. Supreme Court lawyer Tom Goldstein has been re-arrested and jailed on claims he's a flight risk after he allegedly transferred more than $6 million in cryptocurrencies. This follows an initial arrest last month for charges of tax evasion on gambling earnings. Prosecutors argue Goldstein should have his bail revoked for failing to disclose 2 crypto wallets under his control, which recently received more than $8 million. They also accuse him of transferring more than $6 million from those wallets despite a judge's order to not transfer funds without approval. Prosecutors say Goldstein offered valuables, including cryptocurrencies, to witnesses after being investigated, and that these recent crypto transactions raise concerns that he may be influencing potential witnesses to his crimes. Goldstein reportedly denies ownership or control of the crypto accounts. That's according to law360.com. All right, for our main story, I spoke with Gracy Chen of Bitget for her take on the recent crypto moves. She discusses the strong influence U.S. politics have played on prices and how long that volatility might last. Gracy, thank you so much for joining us on Crypto World today. The market is heavily U.S. focused right now, especially around Trump tariffs and economic uncertainty. So how long before we see investors settle into this new administration, or do you see this and the politics of it being crypto's focus for the next 4 years?
I say the Trump administration and basically the U.S. is going to govern the market for the upcoming 4 years. I do think Donald Trump himself, his effect will even stay afterwards. It's a pretty strong administration, I have to say, and the way that the new administration and the president himself is playing the cards is actually quite unexpected. For example, he issued a meme coin right before his inauguration. He announced the U.S. versus Canada, Mexico, China tariffs right away, and that had a huge effect on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like in one day, we saw Ethereum drop for 30%, which is quite ridiculous or quite unexpected.
And this is normally a question I would say for the end, but given everything that you just said, how unexpected things have been, how influential the president is, how fast his administration is moving, what would be your advice to crypto investors? And you and I both know that there is a faction that is very long-term focused. They buy and they hold and they don't really do very much, but there have always been, and I think we are especially seeing that now with new entrants coming into the market, that there is a faction of traders who listen to everything that the president says or that the administration says, and they act on it. So given that this will be a focus for the next 4 years, what would be your advice to those traders on, how to read this market?
Yeah. So traders, it depends on their time horizon for investment. I'm personally holding lots of Bitcoins and some other altcoins, but actually Bitcoin take more than even 60% or 70% of my crypto portfolio. So for me, someone like me, I'm quite comfortable with the risk inherited in the cryptocurrency industry, as it's a highly volatile market. We mentioned, Ethereum dropped 30% in a day. I think same thing could happen to Bitcoin, and some other altcoins can have even higher risk. Then for investors himself, my personal advice, of course, no financial advice here, but my personal take on this is be more time horizon, like long-term horizon, rather than looking at just like daily difference. I still think Bitcoin has a lot of growth potential, and that's why I'm holding some of them, because they are like fundamentally US and China and some other major economies are entering a more sort of quantitative easing and more losing fiscal and monetary policy in the upcoming few years. And also fundamentally, Donald Trump himself is still a very crypto-friendly president, together with his administrations and his friend Elon Musk. These people, comparing with the earlier administration, I would say they are much more crypto friendly, and there are clearer crypto regulations coming up. So if you are investing in crypto, and if you have been doing that for a long time, I would say, yeah, Donald Trump is still a very unexpected president. But if you're very new to the industry, for people who are entering this space, I would suggest them to look at things in the long term.
What do you make of the current hype around meme coins? We have major celebrities and influential leaders and the president himself earlier this year pumping meme coins. It kind of feels like we are in a 2021 style run-up right now, which didn't last, but we've got this new regime, pro-crypto Congress and government. And, we know that meme coins have always kind of been around. And even though these bubbles, they get bigger than they pop, they have been here and kind of proven their staying power. If you look at something like Dogecoin, how sustainable is this? And where do you see this current meme coin hype going over the next year?
This is tricky because we see different powers or factors affecting meme coins. Number one, fundamentally, meme coin doesn't have any foundations. There isn't any utility, and it's by definition. And I'm personally not a fan of anything that doesn't have any fundamental. And I do want to see more real innovations, real yield generating in our industry. Like if there are people building on AI and it's something that users can really use, or if it's a big Bitcoin-fi, BTC-fi industry, where people can also get real yields, for example, from quantitative trading or from DeFi, CeFi kind of activities there. So I do like projects which have more fundamentals, and I do invest in some of them. I don't really heavily or actively look into meme coins, but it doesn't mean there is no need or there is no popularity. Actually, meme coins, like you mentioned, is very, very popular. And just a few days ago, there is another meme coin called TST, which was tweeted by Binance's founder, like previous CEO, CZ. And once Binance listed it, it went from 500 mil, more than 500 mil in terms of market cap, down to, I think, right now it's probably about 160 mil for the valuation. It means like more than 60-70% crash post-trading or post-listing on Binance, which, like I said, I'm not a fan. I don't want to experience that kind of roller coaster myself. I don't want to hold any coins that will make me awake at night. Like I can't fall asleep at night. That's why my majority of the portfolios are in Bitcoin, because I feel comfortable holding Bitcoin for the long run, and I can sleep tightly with that in my portfolio.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.